Good evening, lovely tubers. My name is the White Mexican, and welcome to Market Watch Investments. I have a plethora of cards I'll be showcasing for you guys tonight, and I do hope that you will enjoy. Gaming's Kickstarter tonight is going to be Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So these are the prismatic reprints from the 22 Megatins. These are insanely affordable, gorgeous artwork, and it's a really good generic extra deck card. So my personal price point for these is 2 bones pretty much all across the board for bulk prices. It's not really quite there right now. There has been times when were able to pick it up for 2 bones. It's about Phantom under 4 right now. So time to wait a little bit on this one, but this card is a great bulk buy pickup, especially seeing how the majority of some of these first cards are from the 22 Megatins, and they're just in abundance because the set just dropped and it's pretty much all over the place. So 2 bone mark is a great pickup for bulk stacks of first editions of the Prismatics. Next is going to be Lord of the Heavenly Prison. So I'm a personal Advent lover of Outwitch. I run this as a trip set in my builds. And the prismatic reprints, again from the tins, are sitting at about roughly little Phantom under 3 here, it looks like, for bulk prices. Now, I'm more particularly think that 2 bones is the right price point for this. I mean, $249 is really not that bad, especially seeing how it's a fat stack here. But 2 bones is the more ideal price point for this card, which it fluctuates in between those ranges. You can definitely pick up bulk prices. An amazing card. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is going to be next, the prismatic variants from the tin. So this is my all-time favorite, or my current favorite print of all time of this. Yes, I own the first edition original secrets from Cross Souls, which are really nice, but these are so affordable, and they are prismatic secret, and they're really gorgeous. And these tend to fluctuate down to 2 bones pretty frequently. It's not too bad here at bulk prices. Looks like it's staying at about 3 bones plus shipping for some pretty good stacks, so not too terrible. Again, every once in a while you just check these, reload the pages, and come in, check them every couple days, and you can pick up some good stacks for 2 bones, which is the ideal price point for this. Also, rightfully so, because of the prismatic reprint, pretty much all of the prices, besides maybe the ultimate rare, and maybe kind of the original secret first editions, is still pretty good money too. But with the prismatic reprint, this has plummeted the 2016 tin promo supers. These are really great for playability purposes. Now, given that the prismatic secrets are so affordable, they're like 2-3 bones. Obviously everyone's going to pick up those, and this is what's really driven this down. These for stacks are pretty much, like, if you can pick these up for a bone, obviously there's not really too much stacks available here on this platform. I don't know what platforms you guys are using, or maybe from trades. Like, there's a stack of 4 here for a bone. If you can get these for a bone, which shouldn't be too tough now because of the reprint, this is another really great variant to pick up as well. Bell is going to be next. So there is the Starlight Rare, which looks really gorgeous. I really do appreciate the Starlight Rare myself. It's really ungodly expensive, and then given again that we have 2 secret rare variants of this, it's really going to be kind of like out of options as far as the Starlight. Starlight's exclusively going to be for collector's rare, but I mean, even then, I feel like an ultimate rare Ghost Bell would be a lot more sought after, a lot more collectible and liquid on the market as opposed to the Starlights. But that's just, some personal White Mexican theory for you guys. These prismatic secrets, just like the Ghost Ogres from the same set here from the tin, are all over the place. Again, abundance on the market, and just like Ogre, you can check in. Usually we can cop these very rarely, but every once in a while they come up as 2 bone marks for bulk prices, which is another fantastic buy. Again, this is right up there with the Flood Secret Rare. Really great. So keep a tab on this, and check it out every couple days. See if you can cop some playsets and some bulk buys for 2 bones. Also, so again, this reprint, like all the other Ghost Girls, has like just plummeted the prices of like pretty much all the variants. Which gives you an opportunity to get the first edition secrets if you guys want the first edition secrets. And the thing about these Ghost Girls, besides them having amazing playability and rotating through the formats depending on what decks are meta, they are just amazing collector's cards. More specifically for the original first edition secrets, I know Ogre has the ultimate, and obviously Bell has the Starlight Rare. And now Cherries has an ultimate rare, which is pretty cool. I think over time we'll rotate some higher rarities in this, which is rightfully so, to these cards. But I will admit, even though this is the disgusting, like hideous, nastiest rarity of ultra rare here, utterly disgusting, I really do like the alternative artwork. Dual Devastator was just such a trash set, but the alternative artwork, this is the only print for this alternative artwork, which I really do like the alternative artwork. So I usually don't. I usually think alternative artworks are just like really bad. I just don't like them. But I just wanted to take a look at bulk prices. I still wouldn't pay 3 bones for this. With the Prismatic Secret out, like, this should be driving way lower, and it has been, so maybe this has increased a little bit. Maybe I'm not the only one that likes this artwork of Bell. But it is a disgusting ultra rare, so it should definitely be about like a bone price point. So if you can pick these up for bulk buys for a bone, I think that is a more secure bet, particularly for that artwork. Ash is going to be next. So this has surprisingly maintained the $10 price point, which I think is amazing. Again, this set just dropped and there's just crazy abundance on the market, which is a good reason why I believe that it is holding at that 10 bone market price for bulk prices, which is pretty amazing. I personally have bought several of these for that 10 bone market part for Near Mint First Edition. This is just a gorgeous variant. Even though Ash Blossom has like 1,000,000,001 reprints, this is right up there with the original Secret Rare First Editions, in my personal opinion. Obviously, the original Secrets first are going to hold more collector's value, but these are just gorgeous. I personally think they look better. I know, crazy, a reprint looking better than the original, but I'm just super in love with Prismatic. Prismatic has, you know, a lot of nostalgia memory to me, to the rarity, so I like these a lot. Again, this is a steal deal. I don't think this will last. Obviously, right now it's been at this 10 bone mark for several weeks now, and the stacks will eventually run out, and over time this will articulate value. It just depends, like format dependent. Ash is always good. It doesn't really matter what format. It's always pretty much being played. Sometimes it rotates out. Maybe you're not always playing 3, but it's really, really good, and it's just like the most consistent hand trap that, you know, we've seen yet in the game. So this is definitely, if you guys don't have at least a playset, even 3 playsets of these Prismatic Secrets, I definitely recommend you guys get on that. Next is going to be the super rares. So I have a very strange fascination with hand traps and super rares, and Ash Blossom is no stranger to that. I love exclusively for the first edition super rare variants from Shadows of Valhalla. This is surprisingly one of my favorite variants of Ash Blossom. I have a lot of different prints of Ash Blossom, but this is like definitely up there on my list personally. And I think that a good price point for this is 5, because the dawning of the Prismatic reprints and them being abundance on the market, even for bulk buys. I think for bulk buys, first editions exclusively should be around 5. They're not quite there yet. They're about 6, 7 right now. So just give it some time. I think they will triculate down to 5 eventually. Then you can cop them up for 5s for bulk prices or first editions, and I think that's going to be an excellent buy. I really do think this is an aesthetically pleasing variant of Ash, which is kind of crazy because when you look at these Prismatics, they're just so gorgeous, but I like the supers too as well. Crow is going to be next. So Crow has a lot of amazing rarities, like the DT5 original DT, ultimate rares from Strike and Neos, and then of course the 2 mirrored parallel super rares, Raw Yellow Mega Pack. For the first editions exclusively, just the same as the Legendary Collection's 2 first editions. Now, these are my ideal, again, strange fascination with hand traps and super rares. I like the Legendary Collection 2s more because this was like a little bit older. It came just brand print right before Raw Yellow Mega Pack, so in my, you know, it's just a little bit more scarce on the market per se. But either are fine. The thing is like, I'd rather have all of one set. So I'm going to have 3, more than likely 3 Legendary Collection 2 first editions. But then if they're like affordable enough, again, like these are going down with like the mass reprint. They did not make Crow a short print in the new Battles of Legends. It's like all over the place. And this is also a really steal deal too. I've been picking these up now. I hate ultra rare. I utterly detest ultra rare. I will admit Mavens and the new Battles of Legend actually is pretty good quality. It's not that I like the rarities, but the quality of the ultras and Mavens and Battles of Legends are pretty good. Seeing how Konami's been making some pretty subpar sets. Like if you guys look at like the new Dark World structure deck, Oh my gosh, those are like literally paper thin. We're talking about like Bible pages, paper thin, like so whimsical, so like flimsy. It's terrible. But these ones were done right. I think these are Mavens in the set were thicker, and they're better, and the coloring is a lot better on them. So this is definitely not a bad buy, especially for trades. Like I'm constantly just picking these up as like add-ins in my trades at locals. But more specifically, with the Ultra kind of flooding the market, I want to get bulk buys of Legendary Collection 2 first editions, and unfortunately there's still just not that many here on the market, and starting market price is just too high. I think that honestly, around 2 bones, again, like, you know, that's like the safe bet. That's where they were originally before the giant spike because of like Sprite and Tier Elements and all the whole like fanboy wagon. So this is another great one to check out. Joel is going to be next. So I like the Ultimates. I have a playset myself, you know, for collectability purposes, just for, you know, like eye candy and stuff. My all-time favorite actually is the OTS Tournament Pack 1 Super Rares, and these actually have been decreasing quite a bit. I finally got my playset several weeks ago, and I was really happy because this card used to be like 15-20 bucks, like across the board, even for like lightly played. There was the release of the rares, which again, like they're like pretty much like a bone, if I believe. Even for bulk prices, we'll see. Yeah, they're a little bit over. I think this should be $1 across the bone. I wouldn't pay more than a bone for this, a pop for the first edition rares, just because they're not hollow foil. Yes, Tactical Masters is brand new and it's abundance on the market now, but eventually it will run dry and people will start to articulate some good value in this. But with the supers decreasing, there's not really any drive or desire to pick up the rares, because you can just get OTS 1 super rares even for bulk buys, and they're like $8. Starting market price for near mints, yes, playset here for about Little Phantom under 8, and then they surprisingly they do start to trickle up. So it's been a while since I checked this card out, particularly this variant print, and there was a lot more stacks. So I'm very surprised that this one playset is like the sole remaining before it starts to get back up to that 13, 15, 17, 20 plus mark for this. So rightfully so, I love this card. If I had the funds, I probably would have picked up more, because there are even some for 7, like playsets of lightly played for 7, so this is kind of on the rise again, and this card, just like everything else, fluctuates a lot, so something to take into consideration. Next is going to be the 2019 Gold Sarcophagus Tin promos. I'm actually teching in Waking Dragon in some of my Outlich builds, and I'm thinking about running this because this card is just a monstrosity. It's a 45 beater one, which is I think probably the second strongest fusion, or I think maybe even the second strongest extra deck. I think there's this rank 10 Galaxy Robot something that's 5,000. It's a big fat 5k. So this is like almost rivals it by -5. But I kind of want to pick up some of these just because I'm thinking about maybe teching in and using it as like a one-of for Waking the Dragon. But really cool thing, if you're a Blue Eyes player, awesome artwork, prismatic deep secret hollow foiling, and you know, just a really cool card for Blue Eyes. Dark Ruler No More and Dimension Shifter, I think these a good price point to pick these up for bulk prices is 5. These fluctuate in the market, they go in and out of the meta games, and they're really significant cards. They're not quite there right now. As you can see, these market prices are a little bit phantom over 5. More specifically for their Dark Ruler, but Shifter's really good too. I actually need to go and get at least a playset. I make it a habit to go and at least get a playset of, like, you know, really good like rarities for the most part, like these, like prismatics. Like I know that like Nibiru say has an ultimate rare, but I love like original print stuff, and I love prismatic secret rares. So the prismatic secret rares are like more playable. Like you'll never catch me dead. If I had, I don't, but if I had a playset of ultimate Nibirus like OTS, I would not be playing my ultimate rares. There's way too much money. I'm not gonna be playing my ultimate rares, getting them lightly played. My near mints go to lightly played. I'm gonna be playing my original print prismatic 2019 Gold Sarco promos. Like, these are gorgeous, they're lovely, they're aesthetically pleasing, and they do just the same in the game state while you're doing in your competitive plays. And that's just kind of how I do it. I play some max rarity stuff, but it's not always like top max, like the Starlight rares and like ultimate firsts, and that's just crazy to me. I collect, I sell, I trade for high rarity stuff, but for the most part, there's some small exceptions, but for the most part, I don't play my highest rarity stuff. Anyway, these are good for threes, like around 3. The last time I checked, these are like around, I think they're about like 4 for bulk prices, which is just fine. I've picked up several for 4 over the last couple weeks. It's about 5 now, so it's moved just a little bit up on the market. It's about, again, yeah, 5, 7. So all these cards are kind of jumping up, surprisingly, but there's so many amazing variants of this. Again, there's the Alti, there's the standard secret from Battles Brothers of Legend, which is really good, but these cards just rotate, and they're just good to have on your radar, and they're good to pick up in bulk, to have extras, to trade, to sell, to pass off, to put in your different various builds, whatever you want to do. And then 5 on Shifter and 5 on Dark Ruler as well. For the God cards as well, because the creator died, and these are like specific artworks that if I'm recalling correctly, I think that he drew. I could be wrong, could be right. I'm pretty sure that these are his signatures, and that he himself like drafted these artworks of like the depictions of the God cards, which look really, really nasty, especially the Slifer one. I love Slifer. It's like Yugi's God card, and it's just like, you know, the crimson red, and it's just really, really cool. These are for 2 bones for bulk prices for near mints exclusively, because these are going to become collector's cards. I know this isn't the first variant that we had these artworks of these, but they're going to become collector's cards, and I think that picking them up at 2 bones now while they're like in bulk, because 2019 wasn't too long ago, is a safe bet. I would not pay more than 2 for either of these, because it's going to take a very long time for them to articulate some, you know, liquidable value. Just same as Called by the Grave. So there are the supers from Extreme Force, the special edition promos. If these are like a bone, pick them up in a trade, you know, pick them up in bulk, fine, but I would not pay more than a bone a piece for the supers. What I'm more interested in is Called by the Grave. I think this is extremely undervalued. If you're not playing this, it's at 1. It's so good. It's been hit to 1 for quite some time. This card stops hand traps. This card rips from the grave for graveyard combos, which is like obscenely abundant right now in the metagame. This is just an all-around great card, and I think when this goes to 5 for bulk prices, I think it's an amazing scoop up. Pretty much all across the board right now, it looks like it's sitting at about 10 bones, which is, you know, very, very pricey, seeing how I think ideal target market is going to be 5. So you just got to kind of wait on this, and every once in a while check up on it and see the if it's decreased in value. Skill rating is going to be next. This is the specific one from Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 as the dual terminal technology ultra rare. Interesting. I'm not a big fan of this set. I will admit I kind of made a blunder. I invested in like a case of this or something. The majority of it I just kept sealed for like collectability purposes, which is not very collectible, but live and learn, because there's just no value. Like, there's just really no value. When the set originally dropped, this used to be like 15, 20 bucks. It was pretty good. Obviously it's plummeted because there's been a common reprint from the Dark World structure that just dropped, and then also the ultra rare reprint from Mavens. So it's good for us though. This does actually look really clean. I think this is one of the only like hollow foils in the set that actually looks really, really juicy and is like worth it. And right here you can see a stack of 4 for 2 bones. Like, this is a steal deal. I just picked up, I think, like 18 for 2, like 2 a pop not that long ago, which was just insane, because again, I remember this being like on set release like 15, 20 bucks, and now that you can get play sets of first edition near mints for 2 bones is just insane to me. So I think if you guys don't have at least a play set, this is a nice play set to have. I know there's the Turbo Ultras, which are nice, and there's also the Lost Art Ultras, which, you know, it's not really a big deal. Instead of these like orbs, it's horns. So I think for the price, I think this one is the best one to go for. Infinite Permanence is going to be next, specifically the Cyber Strike super rares. Now, this card is always going to be, for the most part in the game, it's kind of difficult for me to envision them making something that is really going to make this inferior. Like, this is like Ash Blossom. It's been a hand trap that has been around for quite some time, and it's got great artwork, and I just really like this card, and this card is gonna, I think, continue to see play for the years to come. and this card isn't really slowing down. Now, there is ultimate rares, there are first edition secret rares from Flood, which are just, you know, really, really nice, but they also carry a very fat price point. These being that they're super rare, they're very easily accessible, easy to play with, doesn't really matter if you become lightly played, just throw them in any deck, shuffle them up, play your duels, and it's a good old time. That's why I particularly think that this is a really special rarity, because like this is like the player's choice, like the player who is going to use this for playability purposes as opposed as like trade fodder or value to sell later on when it increases, whatever it may be. This is the ideal rarity in my personal opinion for the first edition supers. Now, I think an ideal price point for this is 5 bones. Now, it's not quite there. We see the first stack here of 11 for about 7 plus, so it's not quite there. I don't know how long it's going to take to drop down to 5. I don't know if it ever will drop down to 5, but if it does drop down to 5, I'm going to be picking these up in bulk prices for first editions at 5, because I think that is a really great time to pick that up. Duster is going to be next. So my personal favorite are the Stairway to the Destined Duel. This actually has like magic stamped, the original magic stamp, which in the TCG for us, this is the very first, if I'm not mistaken, print, because you can see this 2004 World Championship promo. It says spell card here, so I don't know if this was like a stock photo or what. It looks like it's prismatic, so in the artwork fits, so I'm pretty sure that this was the very first print. I remember playing this and like ripping this as a kid. It was just really, really nostalgic to me, and I think it's the most aesthetically pleasing variant that we have. Obviously, for collectability purposes, there's a Tournament Pack Super 8, which, you know, is just ungodly expensive, and I really do like this artwork. I like the secrets as well, Legendary Collection 4, Legendary Collection 3, you know, nothing but praise for those sets, a lot of amazing stuff specifically for the first edition prints. Now, with the donning of the super rares from the God structure decks, pretty cool for playability purposes, but for the price, you might as well just go for, surprisingly, the ultra rares. Now, it's kind of ironic that I would say, yeah, go for the ultras over the super rares. And the reason why I say this is because, one, Mavens just dropped. It's in abundance on the market. It's very accessible. A lot of people are trying to push the product off right now as single market. And there's only 3 variants. There's this, there's the ungodly expensive Turbo 8 Super, and then there's the Battle Pack Rare Black Rares and Starlight Rares. That's the only 3 variant prints that we have of this artwork. I like both artworks, honestly. But it's just kind of cool. And it also has like this trap card, this like Melting House trap card that's like a really old school card from like Gen 1 era Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is really cool, like artwork on artwork. Cardboard on cardboard artwork. Okay, so we're going to take a look at bulk prices. Now, I think 2 to 3 is the best price point to pick this up. There was times when it was like around 4, and that's pretty much where it's at right now, which isn't too terrible. But I think there's going to come a time soon enough that it's going to be 3-2, and I think that those are going to be the ideal times to pick these up in bulk prices, because for the most part, I don't foresee this getting banned. I foresee this staying at 1 for quite some time. It has been at 1 for quite some time, and it's a one-of. Like, you need to have it as long as it's not banned. Like, everyone's going to be playing this card. I personally main it in pretty much everything that I play, no matter what the deck build. Some people even side it, which, you know, that's a thing too, but it's an all-around great card. Heavy Stormer is going to be next. So Edison format is catching some momentum and popularity. I know here in Syracuse, New York, we had our very first Edison format, I think about a week ago, which had a really big turnout. It was really popular. A lot of like old players came back and to, you know, show front for the format, which is really cool. I personally was not playing in 2010. It wasn't until the summer of 2011 was when I came back into the game, so Edison format was technically before my time. But it's really cool, and to have like a slower format to play like these old cards from 11 plus years ago is really, really fun, and it seems to be something that is catching a lot of popularity. So these older cards, obviously Heavy Storm was at 1 at the time. It was not Forbidden Ban. There's a lot of really cool prints. You got the Dark Beginning Super Rares, the Parallel Ultra Rares from Hobby League 2, the Gold Series 2008, which is the very first Gold Series set. Just a hint of gold, very, very aesthetically pleasing. And of course, Metal Raiders, the Metal Raiders Super Rare Original. So Metal Raiders has had several reprints throughout the years. I don't remember specifically what years, but there's a lot out there that have this same set name, MRD142, but then are actually putting it in spell cards, not magic cards, and to me those are like utterly useless. I do not like them, even though, you know, I collect, you know, first edition unlimited alike of generation 1s. I want my generation 1s, like first 13 core sets, LOB through RDS, well, not, I think Invasion of Chaos was the first set, or maybe it was Magic or Magician's Force, so they started completely just everything was spell instead of magic card. I can't remember, but you know, for like your PSVs, your Legacy of Darkness, your Labyrinth of Nightmares, your LOBs, your MRDs, these sets you want to go specifically for the magic cards. Now if you're going on an online platform like TCG Play or eBay or whatever it may be, you're gonna roll the dice. It's gonna be at risk, because even though it says that you're ordering from Metal Raiders and it's gonna have this set name, you might get a reprint that is spell card instead of magic card, which I don't like personally, but that's just me, you know, player preference. Now keep in mind that the only thing that's safe is going to be Magic Ruler. Like if you're ordering specifically from Magic Ruler, it will say Magic Ruler, it will say MRL dash something 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 instead of SRL for Spell Ruler. So that's really the only way from like the original core sets that you can stay clear of tripping yourself up by accidentally buying spell variants instead of magic variants. But other than that, you have to be very cautious of that, so just be aware. So again, you're not going to be able to tell off the bat, but for these, ideally you'd want to go for the magic stamps. I would, at least, and they're about 4 bones for lightly played, which is okay. I think 2 to 3 is kind of like the more ideal price point. It instantly jumps to 7 after that, and then articulates more value after that, so I mean, go figure. But you know, I have so many of these. Like I literally have a whole binder of like band cards, and I've been picking these up, and I'm so used to picking them up from like $1 to 2 to 3 that like this articulation value. And I know this is because of Edison format. Like the only reason why this is going up is because of Edison format. This isn't coming off the ban list anytime soon. It's just because Edison format is really popular, and like rightfully so. Like I'm happy that it's going up because Edison format is like a really cool idea and it's fun, and obviously the player base really enjoys it. Shared Ride is going to be next. So we don't have Maxi. This is kind of like the modern day Maxi. We will get Maxi back eventually. I'm not sure when. I don't know if it'll get errated. I hope to God that it doesn't, because I think it's just fine the way it is. Even if it just comes back to 1, it's a super card and it should definitely be back, and it's going to come back. It's just a matter of when, not if. Now there is 2 variants of this as far as secret rares. Really wouldn't pay much attention to all these other variants. Legacy of Valiant is the original core set one for first editions. Now these are kind of pricey for first editions original secrets. Onesie twosie stacks are going to be about 6 bones starting market price, and then if we switch over to bulk prices, it's going to be about 6. So again, it's going to start at 6 and then trickle up to 7 plus after that. So it's about 6 for bulk prices for first edition originals. Now my theory is there's nothing wrong with the Megatins. Back in the day, all the way up to 2018, the Megatins printed cards mirror for mirror rarity, and these are like 2, so pretty much all across the board, at least for these first 2 stacks, you can get near mint first edition 2014 mirrored secret rares. And they're still very much secret rares. They're still first editions, as long as you make sure you're getting first edition prints, not unlimited. I would never recommend investing in unlimited Megatin reprints. Always get first editions. Just in general, you want to get first editions. Unless it's something really really old, like again like those first 13 core sets, it's okay to get unlimited because the first editions are so like ungodly expensive, especially for like good condition first editions. So this is like more than half the price of the original, so just go for this. Like it does the same thing, it still looks gorgeous, still very much a secret rare, and it's still released around roughly the same time as the originals. DD Warrior Lady is going to be next. So this is a GO card. This is potentially an Edison card. I'm not really sure if people use this or not. Me personally, nostalgia is real for this card. It goes all the way back to like my childhood time in Cookie Cutter Chaos era, which is just like really really significant to me, and a lot of memories, good memories to me. So there's a Dark Revs Super Rare, which is pretty cool. Hobby League Parallel Ultras, or Hobby League 6 Parallel Ultras, which are my personal favorite, definitely the runner-up to the original Gen 1 Dark Crisis Super First Editions, and then of course the 2008 First Gold Series 1, really cool. Also Dual Saga, Dusa is really cool for the first editions, of course, which I believe this whole set only came first edition anyway. What I want to take a look at, of course, is going to be the originals. So we'll check out first edition first. We'll check out first edition and Unlimiteds alike, and for this card I would be willing, because of the age of it, I would go all the way down to moderately played, more specifically for first editions, but I want to check bulk prices. So there's actually, apparently, if these are near mint, now keep in mind Dark Crisis did have a few reprints, so you may not necessarily be getting like the OGs of the OGs, but just keep that in mind. Playset for 2 bones. If they are truly near mint, that's not that bad. Again, you'll take the risk of potentially getting the newer prints, but not too bad. And then it goes to 6, and then there's a stack of first editions for about 16. So pretty limited on the market, honestly, for bulk prices, but rightfully so. You know, an amazing, awesome card, great history merit. Secondly would be the Hobby League 6. Now, keep in mind, Hobby Leagues, they are not technically legal in higher echelon of play. I don't know if this rule still holds up, but the whole thing with like Hobby Leagues is they were produced, to my understanding, if I have the history merit correct, by Upper Deck, not Konami, and there was this whole lawsuit, and they changed the whole cardboard stock formula, and the Hobby League cards are actually super duper thick. They're really thick. They tend to bow up, unfortunately, and because they're thicker and they tend to bow really bad, they it's technically considered marking cards, so that's why that there's a lot of controversy behind them not being used in legal play and higher echelons of competitive play and all that. So anyway, we are going to try to check out some stacks for this. I don't know why it's saying, I think it's because I marked first edition. So again, for this one more specifically, because it's more of a collector's card, again, because of what I just explained, I wouldn't go worse than lightly played condition unless you get like a mad crazy like super deal. Lightly played would probably be the minimum. Bulk prices starting for lightly played is 10 bones, and then near mint is about 15. Kind of steep, kind of not, again, seeing that the age of this card and the aesthetics is just really gorgeous. It all just depends, but really great stuff. Yatagarasu is going to be next for the Starlight Rare. So Battles of Legends produced some of the like best collector's cards, at least for Starlights in my personal opinion. The set was just blowout. Konami really did it right by making Exodia Starlight in this set. This definitely made this set a chase set for a lot of collectors. Collectors aren't going to open like a billion boxes though. Collectors are going to tag the singles market, and they're going to rip from the singles market. So kind of interesting approach on that. This card, so I have one of these. I definitely, like, you know, pot of greed over here. I want to get like a minimum of like a playset to 3 playsets. Like, I just absolutely love the infamous bird cookie cutter chaos format again, and just like Yata Lock is just, you know, really great time. Chaos Emperor Dragon, you know, Witch of the Black Forest, all that stuff. There is, apparently these are lightly played. I don't know how you get these lightly played. This is literally like a brand new on the market set, but there's a 2 stack here for 112, and then the first play set here is right here from Core TCG. It's a 5 stack for 120. So these have been steadily trickling down, steadily trickling down, steadily trickling down. I don't think that this is going to go under a bill. I think like this is pretty much as low as it's going to go. It may go to like just a Phantom over 100, but this is still very much a Starlight Rare. It's a very infamous ban card. It's not banned anymore. It got unbanned. No one's playing it, but it got unbanned a bit ago, and you know, there's so much just, you know, trigger memory to this. So I would definitely keep an eye on this. Again, if I had the funds, I would be ripping these 2 right here. Like, that's insane. Maybe even these 5s. This is some crazy, like, this is like a really good price point. I don't think you're really gonna get better than these price points for these Starlight First Yatas. OG LODs are going to be right here. These are pretty cool because some of them have some really nasty hollow bleed, which is really cool. The thing about this, like, I guess, like, my complaint is the original, like, Gen 1s they're just too close to the Starlight Rares. Now you can debate, like, do collectors like the original first edition LODs versus the new modern Starlight Rares. I would think that more so than none would say they like the Starlight Rares more, just from a pure aesthetically appealing, like, physicality of the card, not so much the history, man. Obviously, like, all of our heart goes to this card. These were the original print runs that we ran, you know, when it was, like, in its notorious infamy back when we were kids. But the prices are just far too close. I mean, we got lightly played. This is like the first stacks for first editions, with lightly played being the lowest conditioning of filters. Pretty much 90 bones all across the board, which they have been trickling down, but it's just not quite enough. Like, they're just way too close to the price point, like, where you can just, you know, pay $120 and get like a stack of near mint first edition Starlights. Like, it's just very hard for the standard secrets to compete. So I think in order for these to really get sold, they need to go down lower, because even the Starlight Rares are going lower. So it's kind of unfortunate for the originals, but that's just kind of my personal thoughts on the matter. No discredit to the originals as well. Again, like, I would love to pick these up again, but no one's gonna pay these prices. I can't say no one. I can't generalize anyone, but like myself, being like a hardcore old school collector myself, like, I'm not paying this price point when I can just pay just like a fraction more and get a Starlight. Is all I'm trying to say. So the Ecclesia cards, these are really cool. These kind of remind me of the Ghost Girl hand traps, not in like functionality, but just for like collectability purposes. They're all kind of like waifu-ishy, and they all come in like some really crazy rarities. Like Cartesia comes in Starlight and Standard Secret. Incredible comes, you know, in two different variants of Secret, Prismatic, and Standard Secret. And then Dogmatica comes in Ultimate Rare and Prismatic Secret, which, you know, it's a little too pricey for what it is. I think the funnest one, you know, because I like the Dogmatica stuff, is gonna be the Dogmatica Ecclesia, however you pronounce this. I can't speak English today. But Blazing Cartesia is really cool too. Again, I wouldn't be dropping the money for the Starlights. I think the Standard Secret first editions, like, in good condition, is just fine. Mostly for the artwork. You know, they all do different stuff. They're all pretty ripped, pretty hard on the effects. But for me particularly, I see this more as a collector's card as opposed to like a competitive tournament card or competitive play card, or meta card, whatever you want to say. So again, with that being said, I would like to take a look at the ultimate rares of this. The OTS quality control has been really terrible. A lot of these cards, these altis, come out lightly played straight out of the OTS packs, unfortunately. So you're going to see a lot of lightly played stuff. They're going to say near mint. They're going to have corner wear. They're going to have chipping. So, you know, just be aware of that. These near mints may not necessarily be truly near mint. About roughly 40 bones, give or take, pretty much all across the board. It doesn't really look like there's stacks available on the first page besides these European Deutsch ones. See, like, this is what I'm talking about. You can see, like, instantly, you can see, like, all, like, the whitening on the edges and, like, the little kind of nicks. And anyway, it's terrible, but really great. You know, still not like the best ultimate rares, but still really cool. I wouldn't discredit the 2021 tin prismatics. These look really nice, but they're not worth 4 to 5 bones. These should be, again, like more like a 2-bone pickup for both prices. Just the same with Incredible. This is insanely affordable. Like, prismatics apparently are for like around roughly 2 bones. I don't know if that's for both prices or not, but those are a pretty good steal deal. Again, more for like aesthetics. But then the Burst of Destiny original first editions are relatively affordable too. Let's take a look. They're like 3 bones. So I mean, like, at this market price, you might as well just go for the original Standard Secrets. I mean, no discredit to the Prismatic Secrets. I think they look really nice as well. But if you're gonna pay like 1-2 bones more and get original core set first editions, especially seeing how, like, in my personal opinion, like, this is like a cutesy waifu anime collector's card, I would definitely go for the original. And then again, for Cartesia, if you pull a Starlight, congratulations. Like, those are like a couple $100, like, that's great, but I'm not paying several $100s for a Starlight rare. I'd rather just again, pay 45-ish and cop a playset of first edition Near Mint Secrets, but that's just me. Summon Sorceress is going to be next. So this is the original print of this card as the Shonen Jump Ultra promo. Really, really cool. Obviously, like a ridiculously powerful card. It's been banned, has not been released from the Forbidden Ban list since. There's not a whole lot of variants of this. I think there was like a special edition super promo, and then that's like pretty much it. So this is pretty much it as far as collectability purposes. Again, Shonen Jump is very much discontinued, and I really, really like the ultra rare Shonen Jump promos. I think they have great potential now and in the future. Some of them already crazy skyrocketed, and it looks like starting market price for these for bulk prices is going to be about 10 bones for near mints, which in my personal opinion is still really steep. This card is getting kind of up there. I believe this was maybe a 2018, 2017 release. I'm not really sure, somewhere around there. I think I watched this, like 10 bones is too much for me. I think like 7. I think 7 is probably like a more ideal price point. Ideally 5, but that's not really realistic. I don't think these are ever really going to go down to 5. Maybe if you're like getting a deal and you're like buying in person, but as far as online platforms, I think the most optimistic price point for these is going to be about 7, and that's going to be the time to buy them in bulk. Apprentice Illusion Magician is going to be next. So there's 2 variants of this. This one, and again, I have a few of these, and I don't know if I have this variant or this variant. They're both Shonen Jump magazine promos, but this variant is like the set name actually says Jump, the Jump EN80, and then this one is the JMPS EN007. So I believe I have this one. And again, I'm not really sure if this one's super dark and this one's super light, or these are just like, you know, crazy filters or illusions of stock photos. I'm not really sure. I mean, they have the set names here, but I don't know if they're like altered or augmented or whatever. So maybe they are. Maybe this one is significantly darker. I'm assuming that this one came out first. That this was like, I don't know, maybe like a manga book. And then this one was the actual Shonen Jump magazines, but these ones are a little bit more pricier. If we're looking at bulk prices, starting market price is going to be 20 bones, and they go to 25, and then about 30 after that, and there's just one page, at least for bulk prices, not a lot of availability. Whereas the magazine ones, these are about 18. There's a fat stack here of 10 for 18, and then 18, so yeah, 18, 20 bones. So honestly, I don't really care if this one really does like look way lighter than this one. I like the brighter one. This card's like a, you know, a total like eye candy chocolate card, so I think it looks nicer in the brighter lights. So completely up to you. As far as price points, this isn't a terrible price point, but again, like this is the type of card you want to bulk buy, so like ripping 5 for like a bill is like pretty pricey, and just, you know, it racks up really quickly. So on this, I'm not really sure. Maybe like 15, maybe 15. Again, like I don't really see these going down because they're really good collector's cards. They look gorgeous. The card in Dark Magician is really good, and it, you know, it's just a rip-off Dark Magician Girl. It's like a new gen Dark Magician Girl, so I don't really see it going down, but something to keep an eye out for. And the last thing I wanted to discuss with you guys is going to be Max Rarity Labyrinth. So I'm of late, I've got into collecting labyrinths. I think the deck is really, really fun. The playstyle is pretty unique. I'm a big trap player. I love trap decks, and I love fiends and stuff. So fiends like one of my favorite monster types, and all these cards just look completely gorgeous. I love the artwork. I love all the different cool rarities that they came out with them. This card is like obscenely expensive right now, and the sheer fact that it's a solo print disgusting ultra rare is just completely nasty. I don't have this card. I'm waiting for this either to be reprinted or to go down, and on all honesty, it probably won't go down because I hear that there's hype for this in the near future and in the OCG, so kind of time will tell on that. I may not be playing this deck at its peak of competitive play, which is fine, because more so for me, even though the mechanics are really cool, I very much see this as a collector's deck for like high rarity. But I am collecting both. I do have like a low rarity variant that I'm going to try to play with. I just have to scoop 3 of these, which there's no way in hell that I'm paying almost a bill for a playset of an ultra rare card. Like, skip me on that. But I have one of these collector's rare. I have a playset of these collector's rare, and I have a playset of these secrets. So pretty much the only thing I'm missing as far as like high rarity stuff is going to be, of course, you know, it's going to take me quite some time to get, is a playset of the Starlights of Silver Castle, 2 more collector's rare Ariana, and a trip set collector's rare of Lovely Labyrinth, as well as a trip set collector's rare of Labyrinth. So quite pricey to completely max rarity, but I think in the long haul it's going to be worth it, and it's just going to be amazing eye candy card just to have a max rarity. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you guys enjoy these videos, please consider sharing it with someone that you believe will also enjoy this video. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by the White Mexican, and I'll see you in the next video.